roll the window up here for a second, guys. All right, good afternoon, folks. Welcome to another preview, another real estate preview. Here I have a interesting house in Mansfield, Connecticut, guys. It is a tax deed auction, redeemable tax deed. What that means in Connecticut is that the owner of the property, for whatever reason, did not pay the taxes, maybe some other sewer things, whatever. There might be a mortgage wrote ups in some of this stuff. In this case, we have a pretty interesting house here. We have this house was built approximately 1840, although some of the historical society that information I was looking at in this town indicates it might have been built even earlier, like in the 1830s. Originally to a member of the Trumbull family, a notable family here in colonial and revolutionary Connecticut. Charles Trumbull was the original owner of this house. Now this is a Greek revival style house. I'll show you the house here in a second, guys. Hello, everybody. Okay, that's the house right there. It is in need of some repair. The front porch looks like it's covered up. There's an old Subaru, or an old Saab there, rather. And here's what we're looking at here. Notice of levy, sale of real estate. Greek revival, built in approximately 1840, maybe a few years earlier. Charles Trumbull was the original owner. Trio lists this property at $435,000, includes a half acre. 2024 taxes on this was $58.32. The original owner here, this woman, Christine Curtis, died June 2022, age 79. Okay, guys, so let me tell you a little bit about the owner of this property, Christine Curtis. Apparently she was a school teacher here in town and was a French teacher. Apparently never married. Going back into the sales data on this house, looks like she inherited this house for nothing, for $0, sometime around 1978. Lived here at least since 78 until the time of her death in 2022. She was obviously retired from the school system, but there's the house here. Very busy road here. This is Route 195. Going backwards behind me, it leads right into the University of Connecticut. And going the opposite way towards Willimantic is Eastern Connecticut State University. So you got a couple colleges here on this road. This house is very interesting, half acre. It's a two-family. There's 5 bedrooms total, 2 baths. And so I'm assuming it's a top and a bottom, you know, one apartment on top, one on the bottom, with the owner probably living on the bottom and renting out the top. Although it looks like there's a light on the bottom floor there, on the window immediately to the right of the door. So maybe there's somebody there. There is an occupant that was listed here on this notice. So it looks like what happened here was there was a renter. The woman died in 2022. The renter kept living there until the town finally noticed that the taxes weren't being paid, the sewer wasn't being paid, and so forth, so on. What's troubling though is the amount they're looking for here, $70,000. So I'm thinking that there's something more hidden in his. If the 2024 taxes were $5,800. So I mean, we're looking at 14, 15 years of unpaid taxes. I don't think a town would let the taxes go that long, but who knows? Maybe they did for whatever reason. Maybe they overpaid this woman's pension after she died. Somebody was cashing her checks. Who the fuck knows what happened here? But if you're interested in this property, it is at 580 Stores Road, Mansfield, Connecticut. The auction is going to be held April 1st, which is tomorrow, guys. Tomorrow. That's the address of the auction. So I will keep an eye on this. I did a quick preview here, guys, of this Greek Revival style house built in 1840, half acre. That old Saab, I think, belonged to the owner, Christine Curtis, because in looking up some of the tax records, I found an old Saab under her name. So car's probably been sitting there for the last 3 years after this woman's death. I really don't know who the hell is living in there. The thing with squatting rights in Connecticut, squatters can obtain adverse possession after 15 years. So in this case, let's say there's a squatter there or an old tenant or whatever that never moved out. That person has only been here 3 years, so a new buyer of this property should be able to get rid of that person, either by evicting them or either by gently nudging them out the door without any kind of money expenditure. A lot of times what you want to do is you weigh the cost of the eviction process with the attorneys versus offering cash for keys. You know, offer them something less than what the cost of the eviction would cost you. You know, if it costs $5,000 to drop, get them out of there, you know, giving them the $5,000, get them out of there for the keys, versus $7,500, $8,000 for an eviction. I mean, you're going to offer them the $5,000 first, obviously, right? So let's see who's in here real quick. This is just a quick stream of a preview of a redeemable tax deed. Solid Tank, good morning. Carolyn, good afternoon, rather. I meant to do this stream several times last week. I was just too damn busy. Wasn't able to get out here. And I didn't realize that the auction is actually tomorrow. So, you know, I can't get down here. I'm working. But I will check and see what this sells for, if it does sell. It's an intriguing property because it's on a main road with little fix-up, with a little elbow grease. Let's say somebody buys it for $75,000, $85,000. They could sink a couple $100,000, well, maybe $100,000 into it, and they could still probably flip it for a nice profit. You know, so this is an intriguing property. J.D. Suleiman, hello. Good house, yes. Paige Riley, hello. David Vigman, hey, how are you, buddy? Vapor is the tenant still inside? Yes, I believe the tenant is still inside, given the fact that the notice of this tax deed was sent to the estate of Christine, occupant Unit B, Internal Revenue Service. They're on notice in case they have some type of lien against this woman's estate. State of Connecticut Department of Revenue Services also, you know, state income tax not paid, whatever. These entities are put on notice, and you know, they could come here and bid on this property also, which they hardly ever do. But we'll see what happens here. You know, interestingly enough, I see Bank of America here, which is, why would Bank of America be on here if the woman acquired the property for nothing? Maybe she took out a reverse mortgage towards the end of her life. Who knows? And they, you know, they may have an interest in this property. So we'll see what happens with this. I'll probably do an update on this maybe Wednesday or Thursday, depending how quickly the attorneys handling this sale post the results. You know, either it sells or it doesn't sell. If it doesn't sell, it goes back to the town, and the town sits on it. Any other questions here before I drive off into the horizon back home? I'd love to go inside. I would love to also, but Can't really do that in these houses. You know, you got to think if it's built in 1835, 1840, you know, with a woman who lived there most of the last 45 years or so. The woman traveled a lot. I noticed in her obituary. I read her obituary. She traveled with friends. Maybe she didn't really update the house. It doesn't look like that the house has been updated much at all, other than the roof. I did pull two permits. There were two permits taken out. One in 2015, which I couldn't tell what it was for. It had no information as to what the purpose of the permit in 2015 was. There was another permit in 2021, a year before the owner's death, and that was for a fire in one of the two chimneys. So apparently there might have been some structural damage that needed to be repaired in 2021. So, you know, I don't have enough time to research the whole thing here and see what's happening with the $70,000, how they came about this. But maybe more information will present itself after the sale, and we'll see if somebody buys this. I mean, if I had the liquid funds, I might put a bid on this, just because of the excellent location. I mean, you could sell this as a B&B. You could rent it out to grad students or something like that. You know, it would even make a decent frat house or sorority house with a little cleanup, some of these old trees and whatnot. Brian K., how you doing, buddy? What's the closing bid going to be? We'll know tomorrow, Brian. The auction is tomorrow at 10 a.m. and they'll post the results probably by the end of the week. So once I find that out, I will put probably a comment that I'll pin showing the results of what happened with this house. Still got knock and tube wire. Yeah, it probably has all the old ass wiring in there from, you know, turn of the century when the electricity came around. But, you know, that's the other thing. You got to look at these old houses. You know, it could be completely termite ridden, and just really would need to be gutted inside and out. That's a big job. I mean, from the outside, it does need work. It definitely needs work. The roof looks like it's in excellent shape. That might have been the 2015 permit. Might have been for the roof, but you know, that would make it about a 10-year-old roof. Bigman, might have been a lien on the property for medical stuff or things like that. Possibly, David. I didn't see anything like that in the notices that go out to everybody. When there's a medical lien, you know, Hartford Hospital or whatever, they're on here. If they have a lien against the woman or the estate, they will be noticed on this. And there's nothing like that notice. The only strange thing is Bank of America, which leads me to believe maybe she took out a home equity line of credit or something to maybe fix the roof, something like that, or a reverse mortgage even. You know, the surviving encumbrances though don't list any mortgages. So, you know, I don't know why Bank of America is on here. That would have to be, if I had more time, you know, I'd probably need a good 3 or 4 hours of you know, searching on the internet, making phone calls to figure out why this Bank of America is on here. But probably she took out a home equity line of credit close to the end of her death, and maybe to fix the roof or something else in the house. Possibly the chimney fire in 2021, you know, something like that might have required a few tens of thousands of dollars of repair that maybe she didn't have. Low efficiency windows. Yeah, they look old. The windows look about 40 years old, Brian. So I'm thinking, whoever buys it would have to spend at least $100,000 to bring it up to snuff. Um, get rid of the old car, cut some of these old trees down. But it looks like a decent property. Just that it's on such a busy road. I don't know if I could sleep here, with this much traffic going by every day. I mean, obviously I sleep at night, and you would think there's less traffic than there is now, but there's quite a bit of traffic here. Half acre of land, Brian. 1/2 acre of land with this property. And as I said, Trulia values the entire property at $425,000. So, Trulia is pretty good. Let's say it's 400,000. If somebody can pick this up for 75, they should be able to, without even doing anything to it, just flip it for a couple hundred. 199, right there, in and out, real quick. The problem with these redeemable deeds, though, it's a 6-month waiting period. So if you're the winning bidder on this property, you have to wait 6 months for somebody to come forward and pay what you pay, plus interest, 1% interest per month. So you're sitting on here for 6 months. You got somebody living in there, not paying you anything. You cannot enter the property until that 6 months goes by, when the deed is recorded in your name when you win this property. And at that point, you can start negotiating with this person living there. Do you want to keep them there? And maybe they're a good tenant. They'll start paying you. That's a possibility. It's probably the easiest thing to do. But if you're going to be fixing a place up, you probably don't want to have anybody staying there. You want to be able to knock out whatever kind of repairs need to be made on both floors of this property. Any historical prominence? Well, the original owner was a Charles Trumbull, Trumbull. The Trumbull family is very famous in Connecticut, dating back to early colonial times and the Revolutionary War. And several governors of Connecticut were named Trumbull that came from this family. So this guy, the original owner, back in 1840, let's say, I think Charles Trumbull, what I could find about this guy is that he was born in 1807. So he would have been in his early 30s when he bought this. Maybe he was newly married, bought the house, had the house built, and lived there. 2 children were born to this gentleman. He passed away in 1876 at the age of 69. So presumably the property then went to the wife, to the 2 children, and so on. And who knows how long it stayed in the family. This last owner might have been, a relative of the original owner. I don't know. So yeah, it does have significant history. It's really a nicely built Greek revival style property. You see some of the work up there along right there, and also the bottom, the porch was very nice, but they've got a tarp over that because it looks like the porch needs to be rebuilt. So how much of this exterior wood is rotted and needs to be repaired, that's a big question. You want to bring along, if you're coming here, you want to bring along a contractor you can trust to give you a ballpark idea as to how much it would cost you before you place any bids. Are there any plasterwork Corinthians or just posts? I think they're wooden posts, Brian, on the outside. 2 chimneys on the inside. There was a chimney fire in 2015. So that's about it, guys. Just a quick 20-minute stream here showing this 1840 Greek Revival house in Connecticut, Mansfield, Connecticut. The auction is tomorrow. And I'll update the results of this auction as soon as I get the results myself. So anyway, guys, thanks for watching, and everybody have a great day. Take care.